Yes. Thank you guys for being here on Thursday afternoon. It's so beautiful in Portland, Oregon right now. About 80 degrees. It's the coolest it's been in a little while. And you'll notice that I'm not as sweaty yet, but sweaty metal is about to happen. Before I get introducing my guest here, I want to thank 5 Star Guitars for being just an amazing sponsor from the beginning. 5 Star Guitars is based here in Portland, Oregon. They're a guitar shop, but there's so much more. They've got lessons. They've got repairs. They've got lessons from Jennifer Batten. They've got amazing pros that you can get lessons from. So if you don't feel like weathering the storm and dealing with the COVID thing, while they do have a lot of sanitization and security there, you can go to www.5starguitars and find all their inventory online. And then when you find it and you're in California, like my buddy down below, he can save money by buying guitars through 5 Star because we have no sales tax here. So take your stimulus check, throw your money at 5 Star Guitars, let them know I sent you, and they will be appreciative. I'll be appreciative, and we'll get to continue to do fun stuff like this. We have some amazing new sponsors that are going to be coming on board, I think, in the next week. And so I'm just teasing that now and wetting the whistle so that they can see what they can get more bang for their buck. So check it out. We've hit every other member of the current members of A Flock of Seagulls until now. We saved the best for last because this guy loves to talk about his personal shit. So you know what? I'm not even going to set it up anymore. This amazing bass player, the most beautiful man in the band. This is Pando. Thanks for being here, my friend.
Love you, Kevy.
I love you too, man. Look at that backdrop. Who else has a disco ball spinning in the background, man?
Got it. If you don't have some sort of disco lights in your home studio, then I cannot help you. Okay.
Yeah, man.
That's the way it is.
You know, so all right.
Way of life.
I don't know if you've seen other episodes that I've done with some of the guests in the past lately, but I love to explore their backdrops as we do this conversation. Sometimes they just have like vertical blinds and, you know, dirty laundry in the background, but you happen to have a simulated dual cassette deck. So you can bump those copies of the Beatles' Blue and Red albums back and forth. You can sample some
the 80s.
Yeah. So the 80s thing, you want to talk a little bit about where you snagged that from?
You know what, back up a little bit, you know, as far as the memorabilia stuff, you know, I make it a point for whatever crazy brain that I have. Everywhere we go, I try to pick something, steal something off the wall, anything that has a memory somewhere down the line where it's going to be, oh my God, you know, and I try to just decorate my little home private getaway here that I call my studio with just memorabilia of just the years of chaos and fun that we've had down the road, you know, on the road for that matter. So I've got a lot of stuff, and you know, when that mansion comes along, and have a room dedicated to pure memory.
All the stuff. You know? You've got a lot of years to have accumulated stuff. You know, some of the members, not just in our band, but other guys, they just hang on, they snag stuff just for the sake of having it. But the really unique souvenirs, like the things, you know, dressing
personal
room,
gifts. Personal gifts from the fans are huge.
Oh my God. You know? Oh, dude, you had one of the greatest ones ever. Show me where the Pando for President poster is. Is that hanging up in there?
Oh, Pando for President got left up in Oregon, I believe.
Wow. Who's got it?
I wasn't able to bring it home. One of the fans that I do have the number from to get it, I will be getting it sooner than later, she says. So it was just an amazing thing. One of these fans came, life-size Pando for President. You know, it was just
yeah, dude, that was
who does that?
That was the best, man. I know I've got pictures of it, but I hadn't really thought about that, but we could talk about all sorts of stuff that gets left behind. The thing that killed me this last year, as you know, is that I have a bit of a weight problem, man. I have a really hard time saying no to food, and people bring tons of food, dude. They bring like brownies, real brownies, and cookies and freaking
what
cheesecake.
Is that?
Dude, remember getting chased down in Chicago for the cheesecakes? They chased us for like 40 miles to get us a
window pulled over the car side by side.
Oh my God. And Mike thought he was being pursued by paparazzi, but no, they just wanted to give us a whole bunch of homemade cheesecakes, man.
I have some cookies for you.
That's you know,
how about the Moose Munch? The Moose Munch.
Oh, the Moose Munch. Yeah, that was a special thing you kept with you in Medford, actually.
But I distributed it evenly amongst.
You did.
ourselves quietly, and we were just like, it was a good thing, you know.
The snacks. They know that, man, when we're in the van and we're just going cross country, you know, it's nice to have a little, like a little
Especially
taste
traveling with Gordy. Jesus Christ. God,
Oh, that's funny. How funny that you say that, because he just showed up to say hello. Oh no. Here,
Gord,
check this
what
out.
are you doing to me?
Oh
Gord?
no, just like, guess who showed up sideways? His ears must have been burning. Hey, Gord.
Wow.
Yeah, Gord.
Hey, buddy.
Oh my
I
God.
love you, Gord.
You just
Where
popped
have you
right
been
off
my
my-
whole life?
Oh God. Hey man, you moved in on Pando's territory. He was just talking about having to keep all the snacks away from you in the van.
Exactly.
Uh-oh.
Hey, you gonna eat all that?
Oh, he disappeared. Okay, now we can talk about Gord again. No,
Okay.
yeah. I saw this is really cool. I got a whole bunch of our friends that are chiming in on the Facebook on the
Hey, he was
on the
wearing that
chat.
white tennis shirt, that terry cloth tennis shirt, wasn't he?
I love the tennis shirt. Actually, you know, he got dogged for that, but maybe that's just because we have different tastes. But Claudia says hello from Germany. Hi, sweetheart.
Oh,
Nice to see
Claudia, we
you.
love Claudia. Thank you for the band.
The doctor says hello. Dirk says hey.
Wrist neck bands, so special.
Those are amazing.
So special. Nice.
We've
Dirk, I
got-
love you wherever you are, Dirk. Don't hate. I love you.
Oh, he does hate. He said, "Oh, Dirk said Gordy," and then Gord disappeared. That's awesome. You know what's funny about this? The way I set this up, he's stuck in a waiting room, and so I'm going to make him sit there for a little bit. So
yeah.
he's trying to get back in. So let's talk.
Kevin, let me pause 1 second. Just stand up with no words, nothing. Okay, no words.
Yeah.
Just look at it. All right. Enough of that.
That was a moment of silence for the masked panda. That
There you go.
or masked raccoon. It's good to see what people are wearing in these times too. You know, I happen to wear some representation.
Absolutely.
Well, but I was
Rock
just
the flock.
You know, it's cool. We've got Claudia. She's calling it from Bonn, Germany. You know how late it is there right now? And she's been working, but she stays up. So hi, Claudia. We love you. All sorts of people. We've got Melinda Hall. She's here. Johnny Matusiak. Oh, this is
Johnny.
Great. Jafet says hello. Hi, Jafet. Suzanne Volker. Catherine Cluth. Oh, you know what? She says she loves Gord. Be nice to my fellow Canadian.
Oh,
Catherine, we love Gord too. Okay. But he needs to be kept in his place because this is the Pando show. So he can come back in a little bit.
Gordy gets out of line a little bit. I don't like that, Gordy. I don't like problems, Gordy. Okay.
Dirk says all love. All right. Should we let Gord back in the window?
Yes, let him in.
All
Let
right.
him in.
All right. Here we go, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, Gord Crockett, I should say.
Crikey.
Hi, Mr. Crockett. Hey, you're sideways again. How you doing, buddy?
Good. I got to flip you again. That's why I lost you last time. I got to flip you and I flip you back.
Okay.
Now I can see it.
Yeah, nice. Well, you're going to have to go to gallery view to see Pando. But when you disappeared, all sorts of people got disappointed. Gord, your hair looks really freshly coiffed. You don't look like you have a quarantine cut.
Yeah, I got a cut a couple of days ago. The hair salons have opened in Canada.
Oh, that's because you guys took good care of this whole pandemic thing. Hey,
We're going to get political now, are we?
Hey,
no, we're not going to.
Hey,
we're not going there.
Kevin, Gordy has gold records. I just got a cardboard cassette deck print out of me in the back. See that?
Yeah, Gord, are those Spoons records back there?
No. There's
I
have all of Pando's solo albums.
Yeah,
exactly that.
So the cool thing is, Pando. So Gord has those Spoons gold records, and so in Canada you have to sell 12 copies to get a gold, which is cool.
Yeah.
So yeah.
What? Wait a second, Pando. Do you have a light show?
Yes, he does. Yeah, he's got
light show comes
so
complete
Pando.
with a light show. Okay.
Okay, you know what? His show is not going to be complete until he shows off his custom bass. Why don't you show off some Schecter love there, Pando?
Oh
show
my
him
God.
this. Pick that baby up. Look at this.
Schecter.
Yes, the Pando guitar, man.
That's beautiful.
We love MC Schecter. Look at this. Hold on. Bam. MC.
Pando only has so much room in the closet there to be able to share stuff.
Exactly.
So yeah. You know what's really cool, Gord? There are going to be things about this little episode here that you're never going to have known about Pando. He
I'm
has a
counting
list.
on it.
He made a list of notes about his previous musical history. And
My endeavor.
so what I try not to do when I get these conversations going is have it be so scripted and so contrived. It's
Yeah.
really fun to be, number one, a distraction when life is crazy and chaotic outside. And we want to have fun with this thing. We can talk serious stuff and
Yeah.
get emotional. We know that Pando, he overshares. His personal
Don't
life
make me
is always
cry.
his Pando's life is so open to the public.
I'm not gonna cry.
But I will.
Okay.
I was just thinking there. Oh, Catherine Cluth says 12 Canadian sales equals 100,000 US. It's that crazy exchange rate. Nicely done. That was quick. Claudia, you only miss Mike, but Mike, he costs more than I could afford on this podcast. So I don't have a budget. No, it's nighttime for him. So anyway, this is the coolest thing about sharing with the people that are out there, that they don't get to see all the shenanigans that go on when we're traveling, right? So
Nothing but shenanigans.
this is the best part. This area smells better than it does in the van. Gord
Oh
can't
my
eat your
God.
snacks, right? We don't have
Snacks.
Loopy falling asleep at the wheel. And I love Loopy, man. We need him here too at some point. But
Hey, who has a story of one of your drivers falling asleep at the wheel? Anybody? I do.
let's hear it. Pando.
Okay. It was during the Loves Jezebel days, playing bass for them for a moment. And we had a new drummer that Michael Aston had just picked up off the side of the road somewhere.
Big surprise.
It makes
And we
sense.
made
Yeah.
him drive. He drove. We did an all-nighter from Utah to, I don't know, wherever the next gig was. I can't remember. But we woke up to our 16 passenger in the median, forward buying it over bumps.
Man.
And we're like, whoa!
Oh, God. Oh. I'm surprised you only have one story, because there were so many in the last few years. Just some of our cross country trips.
Well, I know, Pando, where were you touring? Because in Canada we have moose. Do you have moose down there anywhere? we hit a moose with our tractor trailer.
No,
You did?
didn't.
Yeah, it
What
destroyed the whole cab. Like we weren't
Okay.
we were behind the truck with the equipment, but we had a tractor trailer with staging and stuff, and the actual truck part was destroyed. They had to get another one.
Oh,
I've
my
heard
Those
God.
things are like 200-300 or 3,000 pounds.
Those animals are like heavyweight.
Yeah, believe me, I'm familiar with them.
So you have like, what do you have? Wildebeest or something in the U.S.? Hyenas. We got moose.
I grew up about moose all the time when I was in Montana.
Hell yeah.
So I grew up in a cabin in the woods, and I'd have to run a half mile down to get to the bus every day for school. And the snow was so deep. My dad, the road was too narrow to snow blow. So my dad would have to go out when it snowed and he'd snow blow the road. He couldn't plow it, I meant. So he had to snow blow for like 4 hours in the morning so that I could run down to get the bus to school. And I'm running down, and it's like a bobsled track. So I'm running around the corner into a cow moose, like the female moose who's somewhere protecting her calves. And when you startle a moose, right, they chase, they attack.
I can't even imagine.
So I was backpedaling, but it was on
Angry
the
moose.
ice and the snow. So I bypassed the moose and just kept running. And as I came up over the hill, come running down the hill, my bus driver's pointing and laughing because this moose came flying out the road behind me. And I was so petrified to go back home, man. But I found
So
the moose.
you know what? I wouldn't mind.
Hold on,
like-
Gord. I found that moose dead that spring.
What?
We have a little creek, a little spring water, and my friends and I found that moose dead in the water. So anyway, that's what you get for chasing after me. So,
Wow. Karma.
anyway, all right, what are you gonna say?
So what are
Gordon?
we going to learn about? What are we going to learn about Pando? I don't.
He's
I want
got
to know all
notes.
the bands he's been in. I know about Loves Jezebel. Who else?
Let's hear it.
You know
You
what?
got the list.
There was a list of almost somebody, but turned out to be nobodies during my, musical journey all the way, it started moving to LA and, thinking, that I needed to up my game a little bit of playing back then, and I actually checked into that bass school for about 3 minutes, BIT.
Okay.
And, the stuff they were trying to teach a person, was just not where I was at that moment. So
Yeah.
I sat around for a good 6 months thinking, man, this is just not cool. So I quit, didn't graduate, went on to do my own thing and try to, hook up, network, as LA was all about at the time, and which I did, it was the name of the game, to network, going out every night, clubs here, clubs there, as everyone probably did in their own little, their area. But I ended up hooking up with some good people.
But you know what? See, I'm from Canada, right? So tell me about what LA was like in the 80s. It must have been the pinnacle of.
Well, this is the 60s, Gord.
Music and debauchery and everything, right?
This is the 1960s, Gord. It was totally different then.
60s.
Where did you get the 80s from? Yeah, we're talking the 60s, okay?
60s, get out of here.
No, go ahead. Yeah, let's hear about.
Yeah, the late 80s, it happened. LA was the hair bands, it was the thick of it. The Sunset Strip, where it all was going down, everybody who had any kind of dream, where I was from at least, that was where you were headed. You go to LA and try to do your thing, you had big hair. I was on the fence of, I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I wanted to be a metal guy, or not even so much a metal guy, but hard rock.
Yeah, sure.
Or the alternative, which is new wave back then, or, whatever you want to call it. I couldn't make my mind, but it just so happens that I auditioned for a ton of people, some hardcore stuff, some drop D stuff. I'm like, this is just like not where I'm at mentally,
Yeah.
And that explains your look, right? Your look is like a combination of all kinds of things.
It really is. Yeah, it's like you haven't figured it out still.
You could be in The Cure,
look is what I'm trying to say. The beautiful person that I am. That look.
No, it's a good chemistry. I like it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a combination of all that, and towards the end of the 80s is when I really sunk my teeth in up in LA in 90, 91, 92, just trying to make those connections, which I did. Again, here we go down the memory lane, it was like all the way from Ryan Roxy, who is Alice Cooper's bass player. I did a stint with him, trying to get labels to look at his stuff, went out with him. This band,
he's Alice's guitarist.
Yeah. He's
not bass player.
I mean, did I say bass player?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, bass, of course.
Yeah.
That's what's stuck in my head. So
right.
So Alice Cooper's guitar player, and Ryan Roxy was a great guy, along with the group he had. Jeffrey Morose, which is a guitar player friend of mine up in LA. I owe him a lot of credit too, because he's the one who just told me today that to get into this missing persons gig, he called me 3 times, and which I didn't remember. He said, dude, if you want to come down and audition for Dale, come down, but you got to learn these songs. And I didn't. For that day, I didn't do it. And for whatever reasons, he called back and said, you got to learn these songs. You're going to come down or not? I don't remember ever putting it off in my brain, but apparently I did. I learned a couple songs, went down, auditioned, and in the exact words come out of Dale's mouth. So Pando, you want the gig or what? A couple weeks later, she had a tour bus, got dropped off at Worldwide Artists down in Hollywood, and we were off, So
here's a tip of the cup to Dale.
Exactly. We love you, Dale. You know what, Dale? Even though it was what it was and you did what you did, I still love you. All right. I wasn't to blame. I didn't do it. And Ron, I'll kick your ass again. Come on. Let's do it again. All over again.
I could have a whole year's worth of episodes of members of missing persons with all their stories, and they'd fill a good amount of people's, but I don't want to dissuade people from loving on missing persons, because
I love missing persons.
Oh my God.
I grew up down here in San Diego, 91X with missing persons. They were I had cassette.
That spring.
I mean, I'm walking in LA with one of my old girlfriends, Pam Morgan in San Marcos, and I was just a kid. She made a copy of that cassette on TDK old school cassette and burned it for me, Who would do that dub cassette to cassette? You know what I mean? And
right behind you.
That stuff was my my roots. A lot of it was.
Yeah, me
so
too.
I owe that whole genre of my musical endeavor. A good chunk of what I do today, came from that creation of music.
Yeah, the Spring Session M record is so underrated from so many people. It was influential in that whole change of music scene. And then you had the combination. You had the progressive kind of stuff, Zappa influence, but then you had the pop influence. And then of course, Lady Gaga decides to jump on the Dale Bosio wagon, right? And
totally. and speaking of that band being a, you know, Kevy drummer, Terry Bozo, you had to have your chops together for that thing. And respectfully back then, still when I was with Dale, they still had some of that you know, attitude, and still try to preserve the music, if you will. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And again, it was one of those things. I surrounded myself, again, out of my caliber of drummer. I couldn't keep up with that kind of drummer, you know what I mean? But it made me a better player.
Sure.
You know, speaking of caliber of players, you know, and where we are today with A Flock, I'm going to tell you right now, as a bass player with A Flock, you have to be disciplined to play those lines. I don't care what anybody says. Oh, those are whatever bass lines, blah, blah, blah. You know, you got to be like this. And
so why aren't you?
That reminds me, you guys, talking about missing persons and, you know, being true to the songs and perfectionist. Remember that show we did last year, the Lost 80s tour? Where there was a certain fan in the crowd who was watching every drummer, I think it was, right? Talking about Bosio. And I think the band that got the worst of it was Missing Persons. I don't know if we want to tell the story.
Well, yeah, I told the story yesterday, as a matter of fact.
Oh, you did?
Because the people bought, it was at Humphreys in San Diego, and I was shooting Facebook Live on the side stage, and I started noticing this guy right up front. He had seats in the second row where they were like the $250 seats, and he was running up to the front, pointing at him, going, oh. He was playing the drums, and every time he'd miss a fill that was exactly the way that Terry had done it, he's acting like he's going to kill the dude. And his wife or girlfriend or whoever was kind of pulling on his arm, trying to get him to sit back down. And people know when they go to these shows that this is all about fun. These shows are letting go of all the drama.
It is.
All the
it's
chaos,
a complete release.
But that dude had in his mind that if it wasn't just like Terry, he was going to freaking kill the dude. And I was laughing. I'm shooting Facebook Live laughing at the guy. And then he's looking at me and he's getting mad that I'm laughing at him. And then afterwards, we went on, and because we were on right after them. And so while we were playing, I kept watching the guy to see if he knew the drum fills for the Flock stuff. And I was making sure I played him right. But in case, I was waiting for the guy to come up and throw, firebomb or something at me.
Because you're very good at your drumstick tossing, right?
I am. I could nail him in the eye. Absolutely. Yeah. No, you did that tenure with Missing Persons for a little while. You had talked about the auditions that you had in LA. Were there any other notable names that you auditioned for that you didn't get?
Here was my first audition, one of them at least, into musicians caliber that were way beyond my, forte, if you will.
Sure.
I auditioned for Lenny Kravitz. Okay. When their bass quit, they had a massive cattle call for auditions, and I happen to know the tech for Lenny for many years, and he got me in, and we had to play a Led Zeppelin song and Are You Gonna Go My Way, but playing with Cindy Maxwell or Blackwell. What is it, Kevin? Cindy?
Blackwell.
They counted it off for Are You Gonna Go My Way. And this is, kind of before everything it was at SIR Studios, which is a huge rehearsal room, or studio in LA. And it was all through the PA. It was all pro, real pro. And I had been, not so much, but she counted in, it was like, whoa, but she just annihilated my take on what I thought I was at that time. You know what I mean?
She's a monster.
That was a good reality check of, okay,
oh
God, here's where I am. So
that would have been a great gig for you too.
I would have loved to have done that.
I've told this story a couple of times on the show, but about, I don't know, 8 years ago or something, I saw U2 up in Seattle at this football stadium, the Seahawks football stadium. It was outdoor in the round. They were doing their 360 tour. And thank you, Brent Angelo, for the tickets, by the way. Lenny Kravitz was opening the show, and U2 had the most incredible production, right? The biggest lights and all this stuff. Kravitz came out in the daytime. And so he's out in the round, exposed to everybody, standard amps, doesn't have any production show. He's got his backup singers, and his smoking band, but he comes out swaggering, right? He walks into the stage and all right, church session, right? The dude, okay, Bono is, iconic, But for Kravitz to walk out there and look out at 70,000 people in a stadium and go, "You're mine," and have everybody just believe in him, he starts playing and his monitors are off. So he's pulling his in-ears out and he's yelling at the monitor guy like, dude. And the monitor guy never got it together. So he threw the monitors down. He's like, fuck it, we'll just do without. And so he went without his cans and just destroyed that show. He was so good. The band was so good, but it was like a religious experience to watch him play, man. For me, you know, I just like that makes a show for me, you know, the confidence and the emotion that an artist can bring. And it's not, you know, I mean, Lenny is he's the ultimate of cool, you know, he doesn't have to try. He just walks out and it's cool. So, hey, are we getting attacked by a Great Dane?
Let's exactly.
You can hear that?
Yeah, Luke is going for it.
Let's talk about the emotion, Kevin. That's a good topic. The emotion of being out there, you know, and feeling what you're feeling, or the crowd feeling what we're trying to put out there, and feeding off of that. You know?
Yeah, man.
It's like you said, those kind of performance you saw with you too and whatnot. I mean, that's unscripted, you know, off the cuff, like fuck, you know, we're over it. Boom, game off, get new game back on. Let's do this for real, like we're gonna do it.
We had a few of those last year.
When you can harness that.
Yeah. There were some goosebump moments like that we all had last year.
And there were some shows, remember, where we just arrived like in time to play. There was that one fair. We drove straight there. They were waiting for us at the back door. We pretty well just put our jackets on, walked on stage, no sound check. And sometimes those shows can be the most amazing shows with no preparation at all.
Absolutely.
That was a cool
Absolutely. You're exhausted, but you dig deep and just make it happen on some great level. And it's a beautiful thing.
Big time. Man, there are so many comments here. Reggie Boyle, first of all, says,
Reggie.
Hey, my buddy Reg says hi.
Hey, Reg.
Reg, tell my buddy Vince I said hi, okay?
Oh, man. And Ed Souza, I'm glad to see you here, pal.
Woo, Ed.
Reggie wants to know why you're not pimping your hair products, Pando.
Oh, I know.
And, you know, Catherine wants to ask Spoons questions. They want to know if you'll ever play again with the original lineup. But Catherine, this isn't the Gord show. This is Pando's show.
That's right.
So you can ask Gord.
Yeah, Catherine, back off.
But,
Catherine, don't make me sneak into Canada and beat you down. I will.
Well, she just said, remind me to wear my face shield at the next concert so I don't get a flying drumstick in my eye. I've already made an enemy.
We got a special guest. Come here.
Oh, we have Lola.
Hello,
Lola.
Lola.
Woo! How you doing, Lola?
I'm just sitting here with a dog.
Watching the wheels go round and round.
Yeah. Show your shirt. Woo, Lola.
Oh man, the mouse.
All right, baby.
Yeah.
Do you think your dad's a rock star?
She knows he is.
God.
No thinking about it, Gord.
Yeah.
A lot of times kids don't think their parents are. They're like, whatever.
No. Panda's a great manipulator. He can actually convince them.
I can pretty much make any kind of female think what they need to think. Okay?
Oh my God. So you went there. Okay. So
Whoa.
He thinks he can hide behind the screen and he's safe. Oh, this is great, man.
I'm totally kidding. Totally kidding with everybody.
Yeah.
You know what's kind of cool too? We should probably talk about the stuff that we have going on.
No, I want to hear more about Pando's past bands. Like, give me
who cares?
Why do you
I
think
want to hear about
women
you.
hate me?
Pando. So the Kravitz gig didn't work out, and you did Persons for a while. Jezebel was next.
It was a guy named Richie Kotzen who took me under his wing.
Winery Dogs.
Actually, let me back up a minute. Richie Kotzen's wife, Deanna, she was a great vocalist. We put a band together called MAG, M-A-G. And we did a bunch of shows around LA, Viper Room, Whiskey. We just saw all the strip shows, strip clubs, whatnot. But that didn't end up working out because one thing or another. Imagine that. But Richie, at the time, was putting together a band, and he had just done a new record, and he was shopping for a label. So I was yes. Yeah, I didn't have anything happening at all. So he says, okay, come down, let's do a rehearsal, and blah, blah, blah. And I ended up getting the gig. So We rehearsed forever, you know, which again, imagine me being a lonely bass player and Richie's already way established guitar hero, guitar jukebox hero, all to the next level. I mean,
but he'd already done, he just did the Poison thing, right?
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
At that time. Exactly. So he's way beyond established since he was like probably 2, you know, but anyhow, so we split to New York to do showcases for every major label you can think of. And that's my first time to New York in the early 90s, right?
Wow, nice.
So here we are, here I am. This is, you know, he locked out a studio, SIR, New York. All the suits show up. There's just a row of chairs with label execs, literally in suits, you know, crossing their legs. You can't see them. And we're doing a quiet, just what we got in front of the labels, you know, for 7 days straight. Labels, labels, showcase. And on top of going out every night, being my first night in New York, just being crazy on top of it, you know, like I couldn't even believe where I am and who I'm with doing what I'm doing. You know what I mean? That kind of mentality. But he, again, I would say, you know, got me a good taste of what was to come, you know, and again, furthered my connection, you know, roster of people to, you know, move on to what I needed to do. So he was an instrumental fixture in my journey. You know?
Man, yeah. You know, at that point, I mean, he was so known as the guitarist guy, but when Winery Dogs came out and he was singing, that's the first time that I heard that incredible voice, man. He was like Cornell, you know, just reincarnated, man. It blew my mind. Was he singing back then in your project?
He was singing back then, singing and playing.
Okay.
Our first gig, we did a gig at the Bottom Line too in New York City.
Yeah.
And we opened up for one of the Winter brothers, Edgar Winter or Johnny Winter, which I don't know which one it was, one of them, you know. But again, you know,
who cares about history?
So we rocked it. We really did, you know. Then we went out to the Paramount Hotel afterwards for drinks and everything. It was total rock star shit, you know. And again, it was like, yeah, this is it, you know. I love this, you know. This is gonna happen. But you know, one thing goes to another. I didn't have a set band, so I was just jumping ship to whatever was gonna get me to the next thing, you know.
You're that guy.
Again, nothing. I had nothing.
Yeah. Nothing tying you down. There was, no chilling.
But my drive, I had that. I wanted it. I wanted it really bad. You know? Even when I was in San Diego, to move to LA, I'm like, you know what? This is stupid down here. I'm moving to LA to make something happen somewhere with somebody, you know.
So LA
that was during the days of all the Viper Room shit too. So the Viper Room was very instrumental in meeting people and hanging out, being in the right place at the right time and all that, you know. It was the real scene. It was the scene still.
Gord's question, you know, about how the scene was. So when you walk in the Viper Room and you're seeing like the Vince Neils and the you know, Flash
was there. It was like you had all genres of musicians there. You had metal guys. You had, and at that time the 90s were already starting to kick in. So you had 90s artists in there hanging out too with everybody. Okay. So you know, speaking of that, that was during Joaquin Phoenix in 1993. I was there that night when all that shit went down and he fell at the Viper Room.
River Phoenix, exactly.
Yeah,
no, hopefully Joaquin is not anywhere near the Viper Room.
Sorry, Joaquin, wherever you are.
All love.
So imagine that whole scene, you know, that whole scene was in the thick of it at the Viper Room. So that's the caliber and the mental state of LA was that Viper Room. The Viper Room was everything during those days, you know?
Yeah. Wow. That's
a good hang.
You know, Gord, how does that compare to the scene that you had in Toronto at that point when you were down? Because Spoons were just killing it then. I mean,
you guys had the Viper Room. We had the Beaver Lounge. We had no Viper Room.
Was there a scene on Yonge Street or anything like that?
You know what? In Toronto there was, because it was the center of much music, which is like your MTV.
Right.
And that couple of blocks on Queen Street in Toronto, that was the center of the universe for us. So that little piece was great. The rest of Canada, not so great, you know, but it was pretty serious. Like we had CFM-YFM, which would be like, I guess, K-Rock, you know, very into what was coming from Britain and the new stuff. Yeah. So not quite what you guys had, but pretty close.
It's because you weren't in Saskatoon. Saskatchewan. That was the heart of the musicals. That was the hub. That's why I'm moving there. But
They'll take you too.
I know they do. It's the only place it'll take me.
You know, here's a typical, you know, thing in LA that I, you know, fell into that gap too, being in LA at the time. For whatever reasons, you hear this 98% of the time with musicians. For whatever reason and how it happened is just beyond me, that musicians somehow attracted women with money. I, for whatever reasons, had women that bought, supported, whatever I did, you know, like all the way from my neighbor Marcy, who was Drew Carey's personal assistant. I'd take advantage of Drew Carey's house, pool, whatever she had, drop out catering from.
When Drew was gone, you just sneak in and
set.
go swim.
Yeah, it was like ladies always had something, and whatever reason, I was just determined to survive no matter what cost of it. And I didn't have a conscience back then, to be honest with you. So I was a little bit off the charts when it came to stepping on toes, making people mad, you know, this and that.
That's interesting.
Haven't changed much, really.
Yeah. Well, you know what? That is always fascinating to me, that somebody can grow up in a really competitive area like downtown Sunset Strip, man, you know, in Hollywood. In that time, you had to either be just an incredible networker, just the greatest hang, richer than hell, or you know, because
you had to know somebody,
or
you had to know people.
like, you know, and the like having to know somebody. But if you're an asshole and you're stepping on toes, reputation gets around and people are not going to want to work with you, right? So did that cost you some opportunities by early in the day being a dick?
I had an ego. I'll be honest with you. I had a little bit of an ego that turned a lot of people off, and you know, shut doors and this and that. You know, but I got to be honest with you. My great friend, God rest her soul, Lori Barker. She knew a lot of people, a lot of musicians. She knew everyone at the Viper Room. We'd walk in when there's lines around the corner for miles of Viper Room. Come on right in. You know, it was that kind of thing. So I always knew people to get in somewhere somehow. Something would. Sure. It was never like, you know, I wasn't. You know, I don't want to be crude and sound, you know, over there. But you know, I knew a few people. Put it that way. To make happen. No. And this is on my low scale of life. Sure. You know, I was way down here, you know. Yeah. Almost nowhere. Right. Nothing. Let's just go for it. I was nothing, nobody, which, you know, in LA is a, you know, land of everything.
Everybody thinks there's somebody there, or at least really tries to pretend like they are. And
exactly that.
I'm sorry, my LA friends. I'm not trying to dog you, but you know that's the truth, man.
I loved it though. I absolutely loved it. Fed off it. Energy. I was like everything. You had to. If you didn't, you wouldn't survive.
Where did you live in LA? Where did you live? Like, was it like
I lived multiple places.
Crew living over like a dojo or the rehearsal space or something? Or
when I first moved to LA, I moved in with my cousin Stevie Salas, who, you know, I owe some credence to him. You know, but I slept on his floor for a little while until he pissed me off and I had to kick his ass and I moved out. And then, you know, I bounced around for a little bit, you know, ended up on Sunset Strip, this apartment building right next to Rock and Roll Ralph's, you know, so I was right in the thick of it for a long time.
You talked to Stevie Salas, man, your cousin. You know, just before we went live, we were talking about this, that, you know, I knew Color Code. I'd heard Stevie's stuff from back in the day. Great, gifted guitarist, man, and hell of a guy. He kind of got overlooked by because the guitar heroes that were really making a name, the Satrianis and the Steve Vais, and they were in all the magazines, right? But you weren't seeing Stevie in a lot of the magazines, but he's so respected by so many musicians. You know,
he knows everybody.
He's out in that all-star band right now with Eddie Martinez and Matt Sorum, and Billy Gibbons. You know, they're doing like these crazy retreats in the Bahamas where they get hired to come do corporate events for a couple $1 million, and they just go in and party for a weekend, you know, and I think Stevie's the band leader for that gig, which is cool. When you were in the band with him, what was the ensemble like? Did you have just a killer rhythm section?
With Stevie?
Yeah.
He always gravitated, you know, to heavy rhythm section people.
Okay.
Like your buddy Melvin, you know, Melvin?
Yeah.
You know, Jeffrey Jones, you know, Bootsy Collins, that type of caliber of player, you know.
Bootsy played with Stevie too?
I never played with Stevie.
No, Bootsy?
Oh, Bootsy did, yeah, absolutely.
I did. Oh, wow. That's cool.
Yeah.
You,
I can't play with him. He'd always blame his mistakes on me when I wasn't making mistakes. It was him, not
Oh
me.
man. So what, because you've actually been with Flock for a long time now, almost 20 years, right? So how did the Flock
I
thing come
think it's
about?
going like on 15, 16,
Is it?
16 years, something around
Okay.
there.
So
Yeah.
I know that you had a missing persons stint, you had the Gene Loves Jezebel thing. Were you playing with any of the other bands in that
I
sort of?
did Gene Loves Jezebel for a long time with Michael Aston,
Okay.
But you know what? Backing
What's
up even before all that, I had a band called 797 with some guys from Germany.
Okay.
And we went to Germany and we played, this is before I had my, taste of stadiums or amphitheaters or whatever. And
Yeah.
our first gig was opening up for Deep Purple.
Wow.
Not
First
bad.
gig.
In some colossal stadium, and I don't know where we were in Germany. I was just like, I don't know where I am or what the hell, anything, Okay, so here we are. We did our gig. Okay, 797. We killed it, man. La la la. Deep Purple comes on. These guys are already old then, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
But they got up and just killed it.
Yeah.
I'm like, again, back down to a little bit of humble pie once again. But they just rocked it. I'm like, God.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how old they are. They never slow down, man. That's crazy.
It was insane. It was insane to see that. We toured a lot of Europe with 797 doing shows of, the hard rocks, this and that. But again, the musical path and what you learn and seeing down the way is mind blowing to if you have that opportunity. And the three of us, we've been down those roads. We've had opportunities. We've seen, it's a blessed thing that we are fortunate to have
I love the collective we have. Honestly, this is a point right now where this last year we hit a stride on tour. It was really great, man, where I felt like they were the best moments that I've had in a long time, man, where we were all four gelling really well on stage. There was great attitude on stage, great attitude.
It was a good well-oiled machine,
Yeah, yeah. And I think the fans, our friends that come out to see these shows, I think really appreciated the fact too that it was locked into something more, that wasn't four guys playing parts, but it was more, it became a band feel, which was fun for me, How about
those little things we do right on stage that I want people want to know what's going on when like Pando walks over to me, what we say to each other, right? Or when I go over to you and we have this thing, we always sort of like, yeah, it's good. Yeah, we're good. And like, we have this little contact that we make every couple of songs, right? We look at each other sort of going like, is this for real? This is great. Like
exactly.
But the thing Pando does, he walks over to bug me. Yeah. His guitar cable's just long enough, like a dog leash.
I got new
he gets
cables
like halfway and then it
out.
stops, right? And I'll get this close to his face.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
What were you going to say, Pando?
I can get this close to Gordy's face now.
Yeah. That with social distancing, man, we need a lot more room, but we,
shorter cables.
Because you guys move around all over the place, man. I'm surprised you don't go wireless. Why don't you?
I'm wireless.
Yeah, that's what you are.
Don't let him wireless. Do not let Pando wireless. Let him run free on the stage.
He's off the leach. He's off the leash. Watch out. Watch out.
I love it when you guys get up on the riser with me, and we just have like a moment for a show, part of a show. To me, it's like my favorite part of the gig. I feel like I'm connected with the band that much more. But there are so many. Well, first of all, Johnny Matusiak says Gord in Toronto, Gasworks was the Viper Room of Toronto. So,
right.
And, so Melinda Hall says your chemistry is a lot of the fun at the shows and here on this. So she misses seeing us live. Where's the guitar? Did you have that?
You know what, Kevy, let me just add one more thing to the LA scene. I moved there in 90 or 91, somewhere around there. I really truly committed, but I was there till 2007 without a job. So
without working at all?
Networking, no, I never worked.
Not even
I
music?
networked, had this. Oh, yeah, with music. Yeah, I survived.
Okay. Right.
Survived for that matter on the musical path,
or girlfriends, whatever.
That too. You read between the lines.
Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
But no, it's, again, and that's a feat in itself,
Yeah.
It really is.
The hustle.
And, starting from all the way from, I had a friend in the catering business. He'd always, when I first moved there, he'd always bring his leftover catering from his day gigs, and I would collect the catered food. I mean,
oh, he's like your best friend. Wow.
You did what you could do to survive,
Yeah, no,
which
absolutely.
is and again, I say this all on a low scale because, again, I never made it to, stardom of, huge success. Success is measured how you want to see it, but I get it. But, to, whatever, like, I wanted to be a rock star by the time I was 25. I wasn't, that kind of thing, mentality,
Let me ask you, man, those earlier days when you were playing and you were just relentless and going after it, if you got your pick of the litter, if you woke up and you got the lottery ticket that says, all right, you get your dream band right now at 25, what band would it have been besides Flock?
Exactly. You know what? I don't know. I couldn't answer that question.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Was there an earlier band that you just totally latched onto as an early musician that you thought?
I heard it was Naked Eyes, actually.
I mean,
they were in the running.
There's always the go-tos, the Zeppelins and the Beatles and the Stones and the Who and all that. I just didn't know if there was any of those bands that.
But again, I got to back up. I keep going backwards, and things are coming to my brain as we speak. There was so many times when so many rock stars were around. I was around rock stars a lot, seeing them. Like, here's a good one, Michael Hutchence sitting at the same dinner table I was at, which was a special moment in rock and roll time, to see him. This is right before he went to the other side. So just seeing that, being in Ronnie Wood's hotel room, spilling red wine on his white carpet,
Good job.
I was exposed to things that, I don't know. I'm going to say a lot of people would never be able to say they, were around, and being around those people just made me even want it more, to be out there and succeed to some degree,
Those moments, those elements in these gigs that we have now, to me, are some of the ones that I treasure as much as the venues we play and the places that we do. Some of these funny, weird, interesting gigs. I was talking to Alan Hunter about it when we went out. We played that show in the Hamptons for that billionaire.
Oh, yeah.
And what a bizarre birthday party, right? The guy he brought in Blondie, the Romantics, Psychedelic Furs, the Tubes, us. Trying to remember who else, but just as a birthday party. But I think it was a birthday party for his daughter, his wife, which I thought was his daughter when I first met her, and I felt bad because he was in her 20s and he was in his 60s, and I'm like, hey, I knew that she knew zero Flock songs, but it was kind of his party, But there are crazy memories and crazy experiences that we've had that have been special and unique, and the people you meet, even at those package shows, right, where we'll be doing the gigs with Boy George or Tone Loc, or
special moment, Boy George. Wasn't that a magical moment?
Yeah, man, a couple of those, and
Susanna Hoffs
again
sitting beside Susanna.
Mm-hmm. Right. Okay.
Yes, didn't suck.
But people don't realize that the backstage stuff is some of the most memorable things. And I have to say, don't you think our room is the most popular on those whole 80s tours? Like, everybody wants to be in our room.
That's because
it's overcrowded.
Rider.
They drink all our drinks.
Yeah, it's all the alcohol you have on your rider.
All our food.
Yeah. All I ask for is one ginger beer. That's all I want. And I get it about every 8 gigs. But
we try, though.
I know. I appreciate that. Thinking about the greatest catering, one of the bands I was talking to, I think it was Escape Club. They talked about their favorite food backstage on last year's tour. They said, oh man, at Corpus Christi, they had that amazing barbecue, the one room where they had endless barbecue. And it's funny to think how some of those things stand out to you, especially if it's bands from overseas and they're not used to like American food, or, when we're out, like, remember the spread in Quebec City last year? That just the whole backstage area was, Yeah, it was like
And I got to say that, you know, that last run with the package band we did with Escape Club and Vapors, those guys were really, really gracious to the whole scene, you know.
yeah, yep,
To,
they really were.
to that environment, you know, which we're probably a little bit more like, well, okay, kind of, you know.
No, you are.
I said we, damn it.
Oh my God. Oh, this is great. Okay, so I have a question. Mike May has a question for you, Pando. He says, Pando, I have a date tonight, and with your 100% success rate on dates, do you have any helpful hints that you'd like to share with me?
Do not wear those lame plaid shorts you wore. I saw you in last time. The end. Okay.
He's wearing them right now. I guarantee it. Okay, Mike, there you go.
And when somebody says, look, don't look.
Hold on, you froze up.
Okay.
Do that one again. You froze up.
Mike, when somebody says, look, don't look. Okay. It's a trick. They're trying to trick you.
God. Oh my God, that is so fun.
We love Mike May. We love
Yes,
you.
we do.
We
And
love you.
Johnny just heard it, man. You know, like Johnny Matusiak is on the spot. I say, all I want is one ginger beer. Boom. He says it's on the rider in Canada. So that's why I love Canada so much, just because we have people that take care of us, you know?
Okay. Rock star moment for
Yep.
Pando. Personal moment in time for
Let's hear it.
rock stardom. Two of them, actually. The latest one was with Gordy in Canada, looking into that crowd and just saying hello to everybody and hearing that.
Quebec
In
City?
Quebec City?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Like
That was
90,000 people.
That was a moment in time, Gord.
That,
You know.
That's where your head grew just a little bit, right? It's like,
Both heads did. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was a magical moment. Okay.
Yeah, what's your
Moment
second
number two. South America, Mexico City and Peru. Magical moments. I got to tell you guys, personally for me, once you leave the States, things change a little bit with mentality of people. In my opinion, I believe they appreciate the music more. They appreciate the whole big picture of it more than Americans. Am I wrong? I could be wrong.
You're absolutely right.
You know, and go ahead.
I was just going to have my son take the cat out because he's so loud that I can't even hear you guys. So
the cat is meowing or what?
my cat is meowing, but he sounds like an old lady.
Okay,
Yeah.
time for a song. I think I'm gonna be sad.
No.
No, he's taking care of it in a minute. He's on
You
his
ready?
phone.
Hey, let's do a song. Ready?
Let's hear it.
A fake echo.
Oh, man.
You forgot the fill.
I'm missing it so much.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm so out of touch.
yeah, I was going to share a little bit of the Quebec City thing, but I don't think it'll come through as well on here. But there's a little clip of it on my Facebook page. That's just the ending of Iran, where we finish it up, and the big. Oh, there's Luca. See, the animals are just there.
You got good microphones there. You can hear that. Eh?
Yeah, I got.
It was Luca.
Like,
It's a Great Dane. It's loud.
My friends from Harman Kardon are going to hook me up with some better headphones, I think, and I'll be able to hear better. So, anyway, there's a clip that's out there, and I'll share it in the recap of this. But when we finish Iran, the crowd sound is so loud and the cheering afterwards that you get goosebumps every time you see it, man. And when we did that song, they were so loud singing the chorus that I couldn't hear you guys over my ears. They were that loud. That's
the best.
Oh
That's amazing.
You
just got tears, didn't you?
I did. I'm crying.
Yep. Now, the sad thing is, thinking it's going to be a little while before all that. But, Pando, let me ask you this. One of the things that's been really cool is to talk to people that have had some sorts of silver lining in this pandemic. They found ways to find something productive or some life shift that they've been able to do. Is there anything that you've been able to do to kind of change gears and see some positivity out of the pandemic?
To realize your health. I mean, to realize health is more not to be taken for granted as much as I personally do,
Sure.
So trying to stay healthy for my child Lola, is my focus. That has changed
Sure.
to, And again, I'm like, oh, I'm not going to get sick. That's not going to affect me. That mentality is out the window with me.
Yeah.
I full 360 on that one. You know?
Yeah.
Yes. So I would say my number one thing is my health that I've taken away from this, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm going to get off the crack pipe, and I think things are going to start changing.
You know, I do have to say, man, one of the blessings for me in this band is that there's never concern about substance abuse babysitting with you guys, any of the guys in the band. You know, I mean, we've all been in bands where it became such a crutch. You know, I don't know about you, Gord, but I know that you've probably been around people that just, you know, oh my God.
Not much. No, surprisingly not. No.
That's a good thing. You know, for me, you know, we all had our time and our heyday. And I just think I'm probably just too tired to babysit or, you know, to be around the riff. It's so nice. You know, you said the really cool thing is the backstage area for these package tours. People might think about all these 80s bands being back there partying, doing lines of Coke off the coffee table, you know, and banging whatever.
Strippers.
Yeah. But it's so different, man. It's like this big family picnic, a reunion of family picnic that happens every night. You know, it's you know, people that have been confined and doing their social distancing lately haven't had the opportunities to do these group gatherings. And I know that when I talk to these other bands, they're saying, yeah, those are some of the things that we really
for sure
we need. And so I'm trying to make sure that we can all do it this way, you know. And right after this, and I should make note, Michael Williams has his Ultimate 80s party happening on Facebook. And if people are interested and they're watching this, it's a free event, and I'll post a link. In fact, maybe Barbara Katz, if you're watching this, maybe you can post a link in the chat so that people can sign up for the Ultimate 80s party. He's going to host it with a whole bunch of other bands too. So it's essentially like he's DJing an 80s party where everybody's invited to hang out, talk. We're going to be on there chatting in a little bit and hanging out with other people from the era. So excuse me. I wanted to just ask you, Pando, before Gord and I were in the band, you had a couple of different lineup changes, and I know that there have been stories beyond the stolen van, but everybody always asks me about the stolen van thing. So do you want to talk a little bit about that?
If anybody out there has my gear, I'm coming after you someday. You will meet your demise with my shit.
It's a crazy story, man. I mean, I'm sure that most people know about it, but if you don't, check this out. Pando, you want to share?
We know who you are. Trust me, we do. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. So
you don't. Question though, you got me.
I was going to ask you. You want to tell people what happened?
Oh, that night?
Yeah.
Well, we did a gig, and I believe it was Long Beach. You know, one of the little clubs we play in. It's a fun club actually. You know, it's packed. It's a couple hundred people. You sweat fest. It's a good time. Just people are right in your face, and everyone's loving it. Load out, go to the hotel, like any other night, you know, get a call from Mike in the morning or a text saying they stole the van. And I thought Mike at that time was just saying, I thought he was kidding.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Actually, no, I had gone to my friend Lori's house that night. She came and got me. I spent the night at my friend Lori's house. And I get a text saying the van has been stolen.
Wow.
And he was serious. I'm like, oh my God. Everything we own, cables, cords, guitars, gear, everything gone. Mike's computers, I mean, everything.
Your little black book was gone.
That's the worst.
That was the worst.
Yeah.
So we had a gig that day too, the next day. So I called Schecter, and they supplied guitars, cables, straps, and we needed. Mike had the back line set up already or whatnot. But it was just the worst feeling in the world. It is the worst feeling in the world to get anything stolen, let alone the stuff you use on a daily basis to, be sane, you know.
I can't imagine.
Watching the video of it makes me sick.
Watching the van drive away.
Oh, man.
You have video of it?
Yeah, it's on YouTube. Yeah, like there's security footage that shows the van.
Well, I think I know where your base is.
It's right in your room. I see it back there.
You see it?
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah.
No. Actually, there's a guy who stole your bass and your haircut. It's the guy in the Cure. You've seen that bass player? He's got the same hair, the same everything. He's stole everything. He stole your soul.
He's on a podcast right now, and he's saying, "Man, there's this guy Pando from the Flock of Seagulls."
This guy.
Yeah, right.
This guy.
Yeah. How about some other stories from back in the early days of Flock that were surprises to you? That when I say that, a lot of these gigs surprise me. There's such a great resurgence for 80s, and it's really fun to do these huge festival shows where I never thought we'd be playing in front of 50, 70, 90,000 people.
I'm still to this day blown away by these gigs that are coming on in with the amount of enthusiasm with the crowds.
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa,
God, it must be too that they're a generational thing, right? They're at the age that they have some expendable money, so people can fly from different areas and they can really cut loose and relax. I mean, we've met so many great friends, on this. The people that are on this chat, oh my God, they've all been,
they're all
traveling to so many gigs.
Totally supportive, friends, fans, whatever you want to call it. It's a great thing, and not working or not traveling during this whole, pandemic, makes you realize a lot of things coming. Again, perspective.
Right.
Once again, you can say this or that when you're out and about doing it, but being landlocked and in lockdown sucks.
Yeah. Well, if we could just get across the border, Gord's got it almost dialed up, They got Michael Williams.
We got stuff happening.
Michael Williams said that there are places to cross that he knows about. So here you go. It's good that I announce this publicly, so then when I do come across, oh man, there's Raccoon again. I love that. Yeah.
Joe Rodriguez, I forgive you and I love you.
Oh man. Okay. Do you want so you want to bring Joe up? You want to talk about some experiences you had with Joe? What's your favorite moment with Joe?
It was the best day. One of the best days is when Joe called me. I was living in LA and said, "Hey, just like this, you want to join the band?" I'm like, "Yeah."
How'd you guys know each other?
I had met him on the road through these gigs over the years. We just seen, Mike and the guys and whatnot. And I guess Mike said, "Hey, call Pando and see if him and MB want to jump ship," because we were with Loves Jezebel at the time.
Okay.
And Joe called me and I'm like, "Hell yeah, let's do this." So I called MB. I go, "MB, you want to go play with Flock of Seagulls and leave GLJ?" He's like, "Okay." So instantly, Michael Aston lost his rhythm section, which, I'm sorry, Michael. It was a bummer thing to do, maybe a dick move, but we had to do
sorry.
it.
No,
and
you're not.
And you understand, Michael. We love you. You know that.
Yes.
So, and to this day, that was 16 years ago. Easy.
A lot of shows under the belt, man.
A lot of shows.
Oh,
a lot of traveling.
Yeah.
A lot of learning experiences, down the way.
Tell me about the Philippines. I know that was a really big time for you guys.
The Philippines was a good one, crazy promoter. What?
That never happens.
Crazy times, we had police armed escorts, with machine guns, a cavalcade of cars traveling on the side of the van with machine guns on the side. And it was crazy. It was crazy stuff you can only see in movies, like bad B movies on top of it with the traveling just of it and the mentality behind it. It's like, yeah, okay, is this really happening kind of thing.
But they were loved you, right? You did some huge shows. And
again, I don't want to say third world because that's an insult, but these countries that don't have as much as, what we have, again, I just, out of the box with enthusiasm and support and having a good time with it, and so grateful and so nice and so all that,
God, yeah, we really are blessed, man. I mean, I don't think any of us take it for granted, but
I did for a minute.
Did you?
I'll be honest with you. I did.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's a mundane redundancy to being out on the road, right? And just day after day, kind of get burned out. But when a little break happens and you realize how much you thrive on it,
exactly that.
Yeah,
exactly that.
Gord's been fortunate that Spoons have been able to do a little bit of stuff during this pandemic, which is cool. They have a riverboat gig coming up.
Yeah, we got we're just a little bit ahead of you, you know, but who knows? Things could, you know, they're opening up. They could shut down like they did with you guys, right? Everybody's eager to get back out, and then everything could be lost. We got drive-in theaters, we got, like you say, a riverboat, some indoor stuff, but it could be gone in a second, you know, like it's so unsure.
We're getting hammered here in California really, really bad.
Yeah.
California's getting hit hard, you know.
Maybe Canada will recognize that that's all happening down here, and they'll be a little smarter about.
Oh, they're being.
Yeah.
You know, I just like this hanging out thing before the show. This feels like before we go on.
It does.
This is good enough for now. You know, It's just the vibe of us goofing around before. You always make fun and pick on each other's clothes, right? Are you gonna wear that? You know?
Yeah. Hey, go change your shirt, Gord.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
I dare any other band. I dare any other band to have this kind of vibe.
Yeah.
And still, you know, I don't think there is. Maybe
there is one. I mean, like the Wang Chung guys and Cutting Crew guys, they really do, man. It's fun, you know. What's really cool is that when we all get together, it just doubles the size of the family, because they're like that, we're like that. They all become like brothers, you know. And so I just think there are so many great people that we get involved with, and you know, eventually it'll all come back around. I know some of these gigs are getting pushed out till next year. We're gonna have people that are that much more excited about getting to see these things, because there's been a little bit of a break. And hopefully in the meantime, you know, everybody's taking an opportunity to find those silver linings, pivot, shift, find the things they appreciate that much more. And, you know, we can be better to each other, man. You know, I think you talk about your health, Pando. Yeah, it's super important. And really, Gord, I know that you've been able to just really spend time connecting with your family there. You and Meg, you know, it's been really cool to watch you guys just really celebrating each other there. You know, it's nice to see.
Yeah, because we got married right at the end of last year, right?
Yep.
You know, good timing. So now we can enjoy some time together rather than being on the road all the time, right?
You're still honeymooning. Yeah, that's nice. And Pando, if you're still single, you know, and you're available, man, I'm available as well, so we can go to Canada. I know I wasn't asking if you wanted to hook up. I was just going to say, I'm already marrying Johnny. It's okay. Johnny Tilby, marry me and make me Canadian. Listen, Catherine Cluth says, Kevin, the motivational speaker. You know what? I don't intend to be, but here's what I do know is I love an opportunity for an hour and a half out of every day where I don't have to think about the pandemic. I don't have to think about what's going on politically. I don't want to think about bills or, you know, any of the other strife, climate change. It's nice to be able to come together and just talk to people about real stuff, man. And, you know, I'm inspired by looking at your instruments in the background, you guys, and seeing how you've dialed up your brooms, hearing what you're doing on projects at home, you know, if you're working on a garden or whatever. To me, man, I thrive on this stuff. And
you know what I've done, Kevin, real quick before you have to go? I put up my local band back together, you know, and we're in here with masks and whatnot. It's called Pounding Paula, you know, and I got a couple of my high school buddies that we've just, you know, said, hey, let's jam, you know, why not? So one of my good friends, Bob Arden, who makes these pedals called punch pedals for global guitar players. He's just crazy. We all get in here and just hammer like cover songs out and have a good time, you know.
And it's called Pounding Paula. Yeah, you know, somebody said that earlier on the thread. Yeah, Bob Morris says, "What's up with Pounding Paula?" I thought that was like some sort of reference to an ex-girlfriend or something. So I didn't want to even answer that in the chat, but now I understand.
It's another Ben Stiller movie, isn't it? Like Finding Sarah.
Jackhammer me. Jackhammer me.
God, this is awesome.
So yeah, you know, again, we're doing it with masks on. So that's how, you know, it kind of tells you the desperation to for me personally, to the need to feed your musical thing, you know. It's a crazy thing.
So you should talk to Johnny about his new invention.
What's he got?
He's selling them like by the boatload. Is these shields that go onto your mic stand. So it's like a clips on like a you know, shield just big enough, you know, like at the grocery store kind of thing. You know,
it sounds like Spinal Tap, like a pod that you just come down in.
Hey, did you guys get masks? Has anyone got the flock masks?
Yeah, I got a flock mask. Hang on, I'll go get it. 1 second.
Let me see what they look like. Gordy. Gordy,
what do you really think of him?
now that we got rid of him, okay.
Just keep that distance, all right? You can lean in, but you can't get
exactly. You're encroaching my space. I don't appreciate it. Okay.
You're gonna one day surprise me with a cable that's an extra 2 inches long, right?
You. Okay, Gordy, what song you want to sing? It's a sing along.
Okay, let's do it. All right. Which one? What songs do you know?
I only know 3 chords: A, B, and C.
I got my sticks.
Oh, nice, Kevin. Excellent.
Nice.
Yeah, Greg's sending me a couple. I haven't got any yet, but he's got a couple on the way.
I bought 4. So you can get them at abductedbythe80s.com. Oh, hey,
Talking about that.
Talk about.
There's something coming up, right? Can we
there
announce
is.
that or not?
Yeah, I think they announced it today. So I'll tell you about it right now.
Yeah.
Hey, they said that cruise got pushed out to 2022 now.
Hey, don't be talking about that stuff, okay?
No more bad news.
Yeah.
No more bad news.
No.
What's the good news? Tell them about the broadcast.
Yeah, this is a cool thing because it's a combination of A Flock of Seagulls and Spoons. So on July 29th, on Saturday, there's a world premiere. There's a virtual concert broadcast from outer space to your sofa featuring never before seen footage from an entire performance of A Flock of Seagulls and Spoons from November 2019. I was at Casino Rama, is that right?
That's right. Yeah.
And so there's going to
sold out show was
there's
brilliant.
There's a pre-show VIP chat with Mike Score. So go to www.abductedbythe80s.com and sign up. They'll send you more information. You can also get merch like this lovely Flock of Seagulls mask and a bunch of limited edition swag as well. There's the Back to the Basement stuff. There's a Wang Chung mask. You could buy this t-shirt there and some other things too. So yeah, should be a good time.
Excellent.
Here's what I can do. I can share this screen and you can see there's the flyer.
Gordy, were you so bored that you just had nothing better to do but join in? Oh, excellent. Look at that.
There you go. Yeah. So screenshot your video, ladies and gentlemen, and then go to www.abductedbythe80s.com. And you can sign up, put your mailing list information right here, subscribe, and then follow them on Facebook. And then you can buy all this great gear. Look at this. There's your Flock of Seagulls masks. Yeah, you can get some more swag, Wang Chung mask, you can get some Flock shirts. There's the Animotion shirt, a couple of them. There's Cutting Crew, When in Rome.
Super cool.
Yeah, awesome. So Spoons, Escape Club, Vapors, Wang Chung.
Stay at home and spoon.
Yeah, that is good. That is good.
I love that.
Yeah. Anyway, so, I mentioned just a little bit ago, Michael Williams from Much Music. He's doing this Ultimate 80s party. That starts in about 15 minutes. And I think we're going to jump on. And
I got to do costume change.
Yeah, I hope so. Go get the white t-shirt, the white tennis shirt.
The terry cloth one that could dry my car.
I'm giving that to Pando for Christmas.
Buddy, if I could fit one leg in it, I would wear it because I think it's cool. But yeah, don't stop wearing it, Gord. I think it'd be good.
Do you really like it?
You shamed me. Too much shame. I'm not wearing it again.
No, I like it. I also liked my red Deadpool pants that
I like those pants.
Yeah, man. But
Didn't
whatever.
The cat go to the bathroom on them though? The dog?
No, those are the hand painted pants that those are
That's the only time we're cruel, right? The only time we're cruel with each other when it comes to clothes.
Yeah, that's true. That's good though.
Pondo's got that eye. Give me that look, Pando, when you don't approve of what I'm wearing. He's got this look like yeah.
Oh,
Gordy, don't make me mad.
Give me the look. Give me the angry Pando look. People don't know that look.
He doesn't know
not
that
a nice
look.
guy.
No, that look is it was made in the 70s. It's a shot of Pando in a field where they have trash out in the background. And he has here going
that
down.
Fake Italian Indian.
Oh, yeah. Hey, man, Red Lives Matter, buddy. Okay.
RLM.
Yeah, that's right. I love you guys. I miss you.
Miss you too, Bo.
If the people in this chat want to jump on the Ultimate 80s party and hang out with us a little bit more, we'll be on in just a few minutes. I will put it in the text thread here in our chat, and I'll have it archived so that you can go back and watch this hilarity on YouTube later on. So much fun stuff coming up, and we may not have to wait forever. Melinda here was asking about whether or not the Kentucky show in August is going to happen. We don't know. We don't know anything. We know a couple of things that are not happening, and we're focusing on the things that are. So be good to the people that are close to you. Have an opportunity to affect the things that you have control over and change. And just be healthy, wear a mask, and keep this pandemic wound down to nothing so that we can all get together and spoon, right? So, Pando,
Exactly.
Gord, I love you guys. Gord, thank you so much for
Love you back, buddy.
jumping on
Gordy.
the Pando.
We'll see you in a few minutes.
Yeah, you guys. And if everybody has not yet, please go to youtube.com/All Access Live with Kevin Rankin. Subscribe to this thing because I've got contests coming up where I'm giving away a couple of Amazon gift cards, and we may have some stuff given away from JBL and Harman Kardon as well. So in the meantime, we will be back again tomorrow. I look forward. You guys, listen, my guests here, if you guys have not yet seen this, there's a guy who moved here to Portland from Israel 3 or 4 years ago. He goes by the name Glasses, but his name is Gil Assayas. And he is the most incredible keyboardist you've ever seen. He's this virtuoso innovator. He's got so many different things going on. So he'll play hand drums, like electronic drums with keyboard trigger, little button triggers, like joystick triggers and keys at the same time. He put this video out a couple of years ago, and T-Pain, the rap artist, saw him and he said, dude, I need you. And so they collaborated and they did some stuff together. And then Todd Rundgren saw him and he said, I want you in my band. And so he swooped in here to Portland and grabbed him, and he joined the band last year. He's going to be on tomorrow, and I'll have him demo a couple of live things, but it's insane. I can't even describe it, but it's fun and great stuff. I have good guests coming up all the way through. So go back and look at the archives, go to All Access Live on YouTube. And I will look forward to seeing everybody tomorrow at 3 p.m. Pacific, but I'll see the rest of you guys in about 20 minutes on Ultimate 80s Party. Thanks again, Pando. Gord, it's great to see you, my friends. I love you guys. I'll talk to you soon. All right. There it is.
Love you guys.